Alright, hello, I'm Breaker and I'm doing small Eden Zeus tutorial on how to get the Class-3 Bumblebee lifeboats to work. Now, you can use a multitude of things to set up the Bumblebee, as in item-wise. I'm going to be using a pier, if I can spell properly. And yeah, just something like this. Anything that your players can stand on works fine. Now, you can use 1500 feet, which is my preferred height to do for the Bumblebee. It gives enough time to figure out where to go if you're closer to the map. So, for example, frigate's in the air and it's going over a site. 1500 is the direct height you want for them to have some control, but still within the area of operation. If you're wanting them to come into the map, like I have it set up now, I'd recommend 3,000. 3,000 feet is a good height. Just make sure that you do have the Bumblebee pointing to your map. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get your Bumblebee. Now note, currently in OPTRE you're unable to spawn these in Zeus. So if you're wanting to do multiple boats and you want to scale up for the amount of players, you're going to have to do that in Eden. However, you are able to reset the lifeboats in Zeus and it works properly. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to put the lifeboat on the edge of whatever you've got your players on. Just enough so that it's off, but your players can still get in it. So right there, I could still get in that from the land if I wanted. Then all you got to do is you got to go to special states and turn off the simulation. Make sure you turn off the simulation because that's the way it stays in the air, so you can get everyone loaded up. Now what you will need is you will need a Zeus module. Someone needs to be Zeus, otherwise you will be unable to reactivate the simulation on the pod, and that is where Achilles comes in. So if you don't know, Achilles is a really useful Zeus tool that makes Zeus's lives a lot easier. A hell of a lot easier, in fact. So once you've got your Zeus module set up and you've got your Bumblebee, that's really all you need. If you're on multiplayer, you'd manage to get other people, but we're just going single player right now just to show you that how this works. So when you using the pod, something you need to know is you can't go above the speed of 480 kilometers. If you go past that speed, you will no longer be able to control your pod whatsoever. So you need to make sure it stays below 480 so you have control. If you're going for a straight dive into an area, it doesn't matter. Right, you see, I've raised it too high here, so I'm unable to get in, but I'm just going to use Ace because I have that on to get into the pilot seat. So we're at 2,966 meters up. Now as Zeus, I'm unable to actually get up that high, so I can't actually select that with the simulation tools that Ace has. So what we did add was Achilles. Achilles lets me do this. Make sure you have it set up exactly like this, so you can actually get the Bumblebee. Make sure it's vehicles as well, because if you've got a preset operation set up on the map, you do not want every single last static object, you just want vehicles. So what you want to go to this, type in simulation, you want the Achilles version, this one right here, you want to stick that down, you want to say yes. Now normally you would have to click on with the other simulation method there from Ace, but with this we can just click here on the side, and then you want to press enter. And if I exit Zeus, you'll see I've got control of the pod, turn it left and right. And if I pull down, you can see we're heading straight towards Madrigal. I've probably mispronounced that, but yeah. So keep it at a steady pace. Like you can even go lower than this, but if you're wanting people to be able to land around the entire map, 3,000 will give them a decent number. If I wanted, I could go hit the space elevator, but that's about it really to getting it set up working. So I guess just extra information. Yeah, once you go into the 400s at all, not even 480, it just gets really uncontrollable. But as soon as you hit 480, you've got no control. Like, I'm trying to push down on S right now just to go up, but it just refuses, so we're about to hit the ground. When you hit the ground, you will be perfectly fine. Depending on how you hit, you can bounce. But besides that, everything is fine. Zeus, this, everything's perfectly fine. And that's how to get it set up for Eden. Now for Zeus, what you're going to want to do is you just need to get another pier, in my case. Just because it's a lot easier, it's nice flat terrain, and it's easy to grab. So now you can do this as high or as low as you want. It does not matter when it comes to Zeus. Just bring it all the way up here. Angle it so it's straight, and then you just want to grab the Bumblebee you got down here that you added earlier, and bring it up. Now at the moment, you can't spawn units, or you can spawn vehicles, but the Bumblebee does not have a singular occupant. It doesn't have an empty version in objects, sadly. So next thing you want to do is you want to go to simulation, and you want to disable it. You want to disable it on your Bumblebee. Bumblebee is disabled, and it's like that. If your Bumblebee, if you do bring it up here and it is oddly angled, just hold shift and just point it in the direction forward, and you'll be fine. If we just move it there, a bit too far away, right there, boom. And you can set it up to where this will respawn with a respawn module if you want people to keep dropping down in the pods. Personally, I would not do that, just because as soon as people get down on the ground, you should turn that into a respawn position. But anyway, we'll use Achilles again to create these teleporter poles. Make two, and we'll drag one up here, just so we can get back up here and show you how it works. But it's really simple. You're just using some of the Achilles methods to make life a lot easier. But then you hop over in the pod. Make sure, and I may have forgotten to do it. I 100% forgot to do it. But this will happen. This will happen with the Zeus version. You will not be inside it straight away, and when the pod does go, you will be standing up as if you've got a weapon out or a rifle. But it does work still. But again, it's a little scuffed looking. I typed in the completely wrong thing there. No, I didn't. Wait, yes I did. I completely did. I have a brain, I swear. Alright, so we'll enable the simulation, and boom. Give it a sec, and yeah. Oh, it looks like it didn't do it this time. So yeah, so we've got control, and you can do it at about, I think it's 2,000 meters up, maximum height. You could probably go back in the video and check that, but I am not going to do that. So as you can see, I didn't do the gear, but as far as I'm aware, that doesn't affect it too much. So we'll just go down. But yeah, that's the basic ins and out of getting a pod to work, and that does look scuffed, but you don't need to use the piers. You can use something different. You could even use some of the interiors and just make it go to one of these pods, and all you'd have to do to keep it there, and how I would recommend doing it, is using the Achilles attach tool and attaching the Bumblebee simulated to what you've attached, and disable the simulation on the attached item so it stays still, so that people can load up in the pod normally. Yeah. But yeah, these pods are nice. They're a little floaty. It feels extremely floaty to fly. But then again, that could just be my inexperience with flying, because I don't fly too much in Arma. Then you get the bounce, or the skid in this case. Ooh, look at that. And yeah, as you can see, it gets floaty now. This is what happened with one of previous tests. It just became really floaty whenever you hit trees and everything. So try and make sure you hit solid ground like that. Yeah, that's the basis of how to do it in both Eden and Zeus. And yeah, thanks for watching. Enjoy OPTRE like a motherfucker. And yeah, Zeus operations are superior.